There is a mindset that changes how you see pain, success, loss, and time itself. It does not make life easy. It makes you stronger. This mindset begins with one clear truth: you do not control the world. You control your response. Most people suffer not because life is hard, but because they fight reality. They wish things were different. They demand fairness from a world that does not promise it. They waste their energy arguing with what already is. Control your mind, not the world. This single idea changes how you move through life. Most people exhaust themselves trying to shape events, people, outcomes, and opinions. They argue with reality and then wonder why they feel frustrated, angry, or helpless. The truth is simple. The world will not bend to your wishes. It never has and it never will. Weather changes, people disappoint, plans fail, and time moves forward without asking for permission. Fighting these facts only creates inner chaos. The Stoic mind understands this early and chooses a different path. Your thoughts are the first battlefield. Every event arrives neutral. It carries no meaning until your mind gives it one. An insult is just sound. A loss is just change. A delay is just time passing. Suffering begins when the mind labels these things as unbearable, unfair, or personal attacks. Once you see this, you gain power. You may not control what happens, but you always control how you interpret it. This is where freedom begins. Trying to control the world leads to constant tension. You want people to act a certain way. You want success to arrive on your schedule. You want life to be smooth and predictable. When it is not, anger appears, anxiety follows, then bitterness. The Stoic chooses discipline over desire. They release the illusion of control and place their energy where it belongs, inside their own mind. Control of the mind does not mean suppression. It means awareness. When anger rises, you notice it. When fear speaks, you listen without obeying. You create space between impulse and action. In that space, wisdom lives. Most people react. The Stoic responds. Reaction is automatic and careless. Response is chosen and deliberate. The mind must be trained daily. Left unattended, it becomes weak, impatient, and nosy. It chases pleasure and avoids discomfort. It exaggerates problems and imagines threats that do not exist. Training the mind means questioning every thought. Is this useful? Is this true? Is this within my control? Thoughts that fail this test are released, not argued with, simply released. External events are temporary. Inner character is lasting. A person who controls their mind carries stability into every situation. In chaos, they remain steady. In success, they remain humble. In failure, they remain composed. This is not because life treats them better, but because their mind does not betray them. When you stop trying to control the world, you stop wasting energy. That energy returns to you as clarity and strength. You sleep better. You act with purpose. You speak less and observe more. You understand that frustration is a signal, not an order. It tells you that your expectations are out of alignment with reality. Control of the mind also means choosing your values carefully. You cannot control how others judge you, but you can control whether their judgment matters. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control effort and intention. You cannot control time, but you can control how you use it. Once you accept these limits, peace becomes possible. The Stoic mind does not chase comfort. It builds resilience. It prepares for loss before it arrives. It accepts change before it is forced. This preparation does not create fear. It creates readiness. When hardship appears, it is recognized, not resisted. Control your mind, and the world loses its power over you. Insults no longer shake you. Delays no longer anger you. Uncertainty no longer paralyzes you. You move forward with calm focus, grounded in the knowledge that while the world is unpredictable, your response does not have to be. This is the quiet strength of a disciplined mind. It does not demand control over life. It masters itself. Accept reality without complaint. This principle is difficult because it goes against habit. The mind wants to protest. It wants to say, this should not have happened. This is unfair. This is not what I planned. Complaint feels natural, almost automatic, but complaint does nothing to change facts. It only adds weight to what already exists. The Stoic mind sees this clearly and chooses acceptance not as surrender but as clarity. Reality does not need your approval. Events unfold according to causes beyond your view. People act based on their nature, their fears, their limits. The past is fixed. Arguing with any of this is wasted energy. Acceptance begins when you stop asking why this happened to me and start saying, this is what has happened. From that point, action becomes possible. Complaint weakens the mind. It trains you to feel like a victim of circumstances. Each time you complain, you tell yourself that life is against you and that you are powerless. Over time, this belief becomes identity. The Stoic refuses this story. They understand that strength begins where complaint ends. Accepting reality does not mean liking it. It means seeing it clearly. Pain can exist without self-pity. Loss can exist without bitterness. Difficulty can exist without despair. When you remove emotional resistance, reality becomes lighter even when it is hard. Two people can face the same situation. One complains and suffers twice. The other accepts and suffers once. Most frustration comes from expectations. You expect people to be reasonable, loyal, grateful. You expect plans to work. You expect effort to be rewarded quickly. When these expectations fail, anger appears. The Stoic reduces expectations, not standards. They act with virtue, but they do not demand outcomes, they give. Effort without attachment. Acceptance creates calm, and calm creates power. A mind that is not busy complaining can think clearly. It can observe details. It can choose the best response. In moments of crisis, this difference matters. Panic narrows vision. Acceptance opens it. When something goes wrong, the Stoic asks, what is required of me now? Not who is to blame, not why this happened, not how unfair this feels, just what action aligns with reason and character in this moment. This question turns setbacks into direction. Acceptance also protects your dignity. Complaining hands control to external events. It allows circumstances to dictate your mood and behavior. Acceptance keeps authority within you. You remain composed even when things fall apart. This composure is not coldness. It is self-respect. Nature itself offers the lesson. Seasons change without apology. Storms arrive without warning. Nothing complains about what it is. Everything follows its role. The Stoic learns to move in harmony with this truth. Resistance creates friction. Acceptance creates flow. Even toward yourself, acceptance matters. You have limits. You will make mistakes. You will fall short of your ideals. Complaining about this only deepens frustration. Accepting it allows growth. You correct what you can and release what you cannot undo. When you accept reality, you stop wasting time wishing for a different past. You stop imagining a perfect future. You stand firmly in the present, where all action happens. This is not passive. It is precise. It is focused. Reality is the ground you stand on. Fighting it makes you unstable. Accepting it gives you balance. From balance comes strength. Thought focus only on what is in your power. This idea brings order to a chaotic mind. Life feels overwhelming when everything seems urgent and important. Thoughts scatter across outcomes, opinions, fears, and imagined disasters. The Stoic mind simplifies the world by drawing a clear line. On one side is what depends on you. On the other side is everything else. Peace begins when you learn the difference. What is in your power is small, but it is enough. Your thoughts, your judgments, your intentions, your actions, these belong to you alone. No one can force you to think a certain way. No one can take away your ability to choose how you act. Even in the most difficult situations, this inner authority remains. When you forget this, you feel trapped. When you remember it, you feel grounded. What is not in your power is vast. Other people's choices, the outcome of your efforts, the past, the future, luck, timing, recognition. Trying to control these things creates anxiety. You replay conversations. You imagine worst-case scenarios. You measure your worth by results that were never fully yours to decide. The Stoic releases this burden. Focusing on what is in your power does not mean indifference. It means clarity. You still work hard. You still plan. You still care. But you understand where your responsibility ends. You give full effort to the process and accept whatever result follows. This mindset protects you from pride in success and despair in failure. Many people confuse control with influence. You can influence outcomes, but you cannot command them. You can speak honestly, but you cannot force understanding. You can act with kindness, but you cannot demand gratitude. When you accept this, frustration fades. You stop taking things personally. You stop feeling cheated by life. The mind becomes stronger when it focuses inward. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen?" you ask, "How should I respond?" Instead of waiting for conditions to improve, you improve your conduct within the conditions you have. This shift turns obstacles into opportunities for character. When facing insult, what is in your power is restraint. When facing loss, what is in your power is acceptance. When facing fear, what is in your power is courage. These are real victories. They do not depend on external approval. They are quiet and lasting. This focus also sharpens discipline. You stop wasting energy on gossip, comparison, and complaint. You become careful with attention. You guard your time. You choose actions that align with your values, not your impulses. Each small choice strengthens the habit of self-command. The world often rewards noise and reaction. The Stoic values steadiness. They understand that reacting to everything means controlling nothing. By narrowing focus, they gain leverage. Like an archer who aims carefully instead of firing wildly, their actions become precise. Even in uncertainty, this principle holds. You cannot control what tomorrow brings, but you can control how you prepare today. You can train your body. You can educate your mind. You can refine your character. These investments never fail, because their value does not depend on external conditions. When disappointment arrives, the Stoic reviews their effort, not the outcome. Did I act with honesty? Did I remain disciplined? Did I do what reason required? If the answer is yes, peace follows. If the answer is no, correction follows. In both cases, progress continues. Focusing only on what is in your power simplifies life without making it small. It removes unnecessary struggle and replaces it with purpose. The mind becomes calm, not because life is easy, but because it is no longer divided between what it can and cannot control. Turn obstacles into training. This mindset changes how difficulty is seen. Most people view obstacles as interruptions, as proof that life is working against them. They ask why progress feels slow, why resistance appears, why effort is met with hardship. The Stoic sees the obstacle differently. It is not a wall. It is a weight meant to strengthen the mind. Nothing tests character like resistance. Comfort reveals very little. Ease does not demand discipline, patience, or courage. Only difficulty does. When something blocks your path, it exposes your habits. Do you complain? Do you avoid? Do you grow bitter? Or do you adjust and continue? The obstacle is not the problem. Your response is the lesson. Training is never gentle. A body grows stronger by being pushed beyond comfort. The mind follows the same rule. Pressure sharpens focus. Delay builds patience. Loss builds resilience. Every challenge contains a skill waiting to be developed. The Stoic does not waste this opportunity by wishing the challenge away. When plans fail, you train adaptability. When people oppose you, you train self-control. When effort is not rewarded, you train endurance. These skills cannot be learned in theory. They must be earned through experience. The obstacle provides the experience. Many fear hardship because they measure life by pleasure and success. The Stoic measures life by character. From this view, difficulty becomes valuable. It gives shape to virtue. Without challenge, courage has no meaning. Without loss, gratitude remains shallow. Without struggle, discipline stays weak. Turning obstacles into training requires a shift in language. Instead of saying, "This is happening to me," you say, "This is happening for my development." Instead of asking, "When will this end?" you ask, "What is this teaching me?" This does not deny pain. It gives pain direction. The mind must be reminded that resistance is normal. Nature itself grows through tension. Muscles tear to rebuild stronger. Trees grow deeper roots against strong winds. A life without resistance would produce a fragile person. The Stoic accepts this truth and stops expecting smooth paths. Obstacles also reveal priorities. When time is limited, you focus. When resources are scarce, you become creative. When energy is low, you choose carefully. Difficulty strips away excess and forces clarity. The Stoic uses this clarity instead of resenting it. There is dignity in facing hardship well. Not loudly, not for praise, quietly. with composure. This dignity cannot be taken away. It belongs entirely to the individual. Even when outcomes are unfavorable, this inner victory remains. Training through obstacles also prepares you for future challenges. Each difficulty faced with reason becomes proof. Proof that you can endure, proof that you can adapt, proof that fear does not decide your actions. This confidence is not arrogance. It is earned trust in yourself. Many people wait for confidence before acting. The Stoic knows confidence is built by action under pressure. You step forward while uncertain. You remain steady while uncomfortable. Over time, the mind learns that difficulty is survivable. Obstacles are not equal. Some are small frustrations. Others are deep losses. The Stoic does not compare pain. They apply the same principle at every level. Respond with virtue. Act with reason. Accept what cannot be changed. Improve what can. When you stop seeing obstacles as enemies, your relationship with life changes. You no longer feel personally attacked by difficulty. You feel challenged. And challenges invite effort, not despair. Training is ongoing. There is no final test, no moment where hardship ends forever. The Stoic accepts this and continues forward, knowing that every obstacle encountered is another chance to strengthen the mind and refine character. Live fully in the present moment. This idea sounds simple, yet it is one of the hardest disciplines to master. The mind is rarely where the body is. It drifts backward into regret or forward into worry. It replays what should have been said or imagines what might go wrong. In doing so, it abandons the only moment where life actually happens. The present moment is often ignored because it feels ordinary. It does not shout for attention like fear or desire. It is quiet. The Stoic learns to value this quiet. They understand that attention is a form of respect. What you attend to becomes your life. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It means placing them in their proper. The past is for learning, not for punishment. The future is for planning, not for anxiety. The present is for action. Most emotional suffering comes from leaving the present. When you worry, you suffer a future that has not arrived. When you regret, you suffer a past that cannot be changed. The Stoic sees this double suffering and refuses it. They return the mind to what is happening now. The body already lives in the present. It breathes now. It moves now. It feels now. The mind must be trained to follow. This training begins with awareness. You notice your thoughts pulling you away. You do not fight them. You simply bring attention back. In the present moment, your power is strongest. You can choose your next word, your next step, your next decision. Outside the present, you have no influence at all. Worry feels active, but it produces nothing. Presence feels calm, but it produces clarity. Living fully now also sharpens responsibility. You stop postponing virtue. You do not wait for the perfect time to act well. You act well in the conditions you have. You speak honestly today. You practice discipline today. You show patience today. The Stoic understands that life is made of moments, not milestones. Waiting for a future event to feel fulfilled is a mistake. When that event arrives, the mind will already be looking ahead. Presence breaks this cycle. Time is often treated as endless. This illusion creates carelessness. When you remember that each moment passes once, attention becomes sharper. You listen more carefully. You choose words more thoughtfully. You waste less energy on trivial matters. Living in the present also softens fear. Fear grows in imagined futures. In the present, fear loses detail. It becomes manageable. You deal with what is in front of you, not what might appear later. This mindset also deepens gratitude. When attention is here, you notice small things. A quiet morning, a steady breath, a simple task done well. Gratitude does not require perfection. It requires presence. Many chase intensity to feel alive. The Stoic finds life in steadiness. They do not need constant stimulation. They are fully engaged in simple actions, walking, working, listening, resting. Even pain is more bearable in the present. Pain becomes heavier when combined with fear of how long it will last or why it happened. When experienced moment by moment, it loses some of its power. To live in the present is to live without mental debt. You are not borrowing trouble from tomorrow or carrying regret from yesterday. You stand where your feet are. You do what reason asks of you now. This practice does not remove hardship, it removes distraction. And with distraction gone, the mind becomes clear, steady, and capable of meeting life exactly as it unfolds, detached from praise and insult. This discipline protects inner balance. Most people live under the control of other voices. A compliment lifts them. A criticism crushes them. Their mood rises and falls with words that come from minds they do not control. The Stoic refuses to hand over this power. Praise and insult are both external. They come from opinions, and opinions are unstable. Today you are admired. Tomorrow you are ignored. One person calls you wise, another calls you foolish. If your peace depends on these judgments, it will never last. The Stoic asks a simple question when praised or insulted. Is this within my control? The answer is no. What others think is shaped by their experiences, their values, their emotions. It says more about them than it does about you. Understanding this creates distance. Praise is dangerous because it feels good. It invites attachment. You begin to perform for approval instead of acting from principle. You choose what is popular over what is right. Slowly, your character bends to expectation. The Stoic remains alert to this trap. Insult feels sharp because it threatens identity. It challenges how you see yourself. The instinct is to defend, to argue, to retaliate. But reaction gives the insult weight. Silence or calm response removes its power. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means independence. You can listen to feedback without being ruled by it. You can accept correction without humiliation. You can reject unfair criticism without anger. The Stoic measures themselves by internal standards. Did I act with honesty? Did I remain disciplined? Did I act according to reason? These questions matter more than applause or blame. When praised, the Stoic reminds themselves that success is never solely personal. It depends on chance, timing, and help from others. This prevents pride. When insulted, they examine whether there is truth in it. If there is, they correct it. If not, they let it pass. This balance protects dignity. A person who needs praise becomes anxious. A person who fears insult becomes cautious and weak. The Stoic stands firm in both situations. Social approval is a moving target. Chasing it creates constant tension. You adjust your words. You hide your thoughts. You trade authenticity for safety. Detachment frees you from this performance. The Stoic also understands that praise and insult often arrive together. Those who admire you today may criticize you tomorrow. The wise mind expects this and remains unchanged. When insulted, remember that words cannot harm character unless accepted. They are sounds and symbols. Your reaction gives them meaning. By choosing calm, you protect your inner order. Detachment creates quiet confidence. Not the loud kind that seeks attention, but the steady kind that does not need validation. This confidence allows you to act decisively, even when misunderstood. In moments of public judgment, the Stoic retreats inward. They return to their values, they anchor themselves in reason. This prevents emotional storms. Detachment also encourages honesty. When you are not afraid of insult, you can speak truth. When you do not crave praise, you can remain humble. This discipline takes practice. The mind is conditioned to seek approval. Each time you resist reacting, you strengthen independence. Over time, praise becomes pleasant but unnecessary. Insult becomes noise. Freedom grows where attachment fades. By detaching from praise and insult, you reclaim authority over your emotions and preserve the calm that allows clear thought and steady action. Value character over comfort. This principle stands against modern habit. Comfort is easy to desire. It promises relief, ease, and pleasure. Character demands effort, restraint, and patience. When given a choice, most people choose what feels good now over what makes them better later. The Stoic chooses differently. Comfort weakens when it becomes a goal. The body grows soft, the mind grows impatient. Small inconveniences feel unbearable. When life inevitably becomes difficult, the unprepared mind collapses. The Stoic understands that seeking constant comfort is a form of dependence. Character is built through resistance. It forms when you act according to reason instead of impulse. When you wake early instead of sleeping longer. When you remain calm instead of reacting. When you do what is right even when it is uncomfortable. The Stoic does not reject comfort entirely. They enjoy what comes without attachment. But they do not organize their life around ease. They organize it around virtue. This creates inner stability that comfort alone cannot provide. A comfortable life can disappear overnight. Health fails, money shifts, circumstances change. Character remains, it travels with you into every situation. This is why the Stoic invests in it daily. Discomfort is not feared, it is used. Cold strengthens endurance. Silence sharpens thought. Simplicity clarifies priorities. By occasionally stepping away from comfort, the Stoic proves to themselves that they need less than they think. Many habits exist only to avoid discomfort. Distraction, excess, and constant stimulation keep the mind busy, so it never has to face itself. The Stoic practices stillness. In stillness, weaknesses appear. This is not failure, it is information. Valuing character means choosing long-term strength over short-term pleasure. It means saying no when yes is easier. It means patience when impatience would feel satisfying. Each choice shapes the person you become. The Stoic also understands that comfort often hides injustice. It tempts you to stay silent when speaking would be difficult, to ignore wrongdoing because it does not affect you directly. Character demands courage. Courage is rarely comfortable. A person who values character can endure hardship without losing dignity. They do not collapse under pressure. They do not betray principles for convenience. This reliability earns respect even if it is not immediately rewarded. Comfort seeks escape. Character seeks engagement. One avoids effort. The other embraces it. One dulls pain. The other transforms it. Training character is daily work. Small acts matter. Keeping promises, speaking honestly, showing restraint. These actions seem minor, but over time they form a strong inner structure. The Stoic accepts that life will never be fully comfortable. Instead of resisting this truth, they prepare for it. Preparation reduces fear. It replaces anxiety with readiness. When faced with a choice between what is easy and what is right, the Stoic chooses what strengthens the soul. This choice may cost comfort, popularity, or ease. It returns something greater. Character gives freedom. You are not ruled by cravings. You are not shaken by discomfort. You can stand firm even when conditions are harsh. Comfort fades quickly. Character endures. By valuing what endures, the Stoic builds a life that remains steady through change and grounded in strength rather than softness. Remember, life is temporary. This truth is simple, yet most people live as if it is false. Days feel endless. Plans feel permanent. Loss feels distant. The Stoic sees time clearly. Every moment is borrowed. Every breath is finite. Recognition of this changes how you act, how you think, how you value what you have. Life passes whether you notice it or not. The sun rises, the seasons change, and years accumulate silently. No amount of wishing, complaining, or resisting will slow it. Awareness of this truth does not create fear, it creates clarity. When you understand that life is fleeting, every action gains weight. Every choice matters. Mortality is the lens through which wisdom is sharpened. People postpone virtue as if life were endless. They wait to speak honestly, to forgive, to pursue growth, to act with courage. The Stoic acts now, because delay risks losing the chance altogether. Procrastination is a luxury the impermanent cannot afford. Temporary life also clarifies what is truly important. Trivial worries, petty arguments, and meaningless desires lose their power. What remains is what strengthens the mind and soul, what fosters relationships, what contributes to purpose, what aligns with virtue. Time exposes the difference between what is urgent and what is essential. Loss is easier to bear when life is seen as temporary. Health fades. Friends depart. Status changes. Belongings are impermanent. Acceptance of this truth allows gratitude to flourish for what exists today. You enjoy what is present without clinging. You act with love without fear, because everything may change tomorrow. Temporary life teaches preparation. Death is not a threat to avoid, but a reminder to prioritize. You prepare your mind through reflection, your character through practice, your decisions through discipline. You invest in growth, knowing that life, as brevity, makes preparation meaningful. Time itself becomes a teacher. Each moment is evidence that waiting for the right, time is foolish. Waiting creates regret because moments are never returned. Awareness of impermanence motivates presence, focus, and deliberate action. The Stoic treats each day as an opportunity that will not come again. This perspective also tempers fear and attachment. When life is temporary, you see that worry about loss is wasted. Attachments are natural, but fear of losing them multiplies suffering. Acceptance of impermanence softens anxiety and strengthens resilience. You learn to value without clinging. Remembering life is temporary sharpens humility. Pride, ambition, and vanity are diminished when seen against the brevity of existence. Power, wealth, and fame are fleeting. Only what is internal wisdom, virtue, courage, self-discipline retains lasting significance. The Stoic places effort in what endures beyond the transient. Temporary life is also a call to courage. To live fully requires action despite uncertainty. To speak truth despite opposition. To act with integrity despite risk. The fleeting nature of time makes hesitation costly. Every opportunity to act rightly is a gift that may vanish. Gratitude deepens when impermanence is acknowledged. You notice the simple pleasures that are easily overlooked. A clear sky, a kind word, a meal, a friend's smile. Life is temporary, so the ordinary becomes precious. You stop taking moments for granted. Remembering the shortness of life changes behavior subtly but profoundly. Impatience fades. Resentment diminishes. Priorities align. The Stoic mind becomes intentional, disciplined, and calm, anchored in the awareness that all things are passing, and the only thing truly yours is how you live now. Respond with reason, not emotion. This principle is at the heart of a disciplined mind. Most people act first and think later. They are driven by fear, anger, desire, or pride. These emotions feel urgent and real, but they are unreliable guides. Acting under their influence often leads to regret, conflict, and chaos. The Stoic trains the mind to pause, observe, and choose before reacting. Emotions are natural. They are signals, not commands. Anger signals that something challenges your sense of justice. Fear signals that a threat is perceived. Desire signals that something seems valuable. The Stoic does not suppress these signals. They acknowledge them, analyze them, and then decide whether action is appropriate. Reason becomes the gatekeeper. Reaction without reason is automatic. An insult provokes a retort. A setback provokes despair. A loss provokes panic. These responses feel immediate, but they come at a cost. They hand control to circumstances and allow chaos to dictate behavior. Reasoned action, by contrast, restores control. It aligns action with values, not impulses. Reason requires practice. The mind is conditioned to follow emotion. Training begins with awareness. Notice the first stirrings of anger, fear, or envy. Do not act immediately. Observe the feeling. Ask what is true, what is in your control, what the best course of action is. This small pause creates freedom. Emotions can exaggerate reality. Fear imagines worst-case scenarios. Anger interprets intention as insult. Desire inflates value. Reason corrects these distortions. It asks, is this threat real? Is this insult true? Is this goal worth the effort? By filtering emotion through reason, clarity emerges. Responding with reason does not make you cold or unfeeling. It makes you precise and effective. You can act with kindness without being manipulated. You can set boundaries without reacting vindictively. You can endure hardship without despair. Emotion informs action, but does not control it. Impulses often seek immediate gratification. Reason delays, calculates, and prioritizes. Acting impulsively can create temporary relief but long-term problems. The Stoic weighs consequences, considers values, and acts in a way that strengthens character. Reason also prevents regret. Decisions made in haste are often reversed later. Decisions made through reflection are deliberate and lasting. The Stoic understands that life is shaped not by emotion but by consistent, thoughtful action. Each choice builds character. Each rash reaction erodes it. Social interactions especially benefit from reasoned response. Insults, gossip, or provocation often aim to provoke an emotional reaction. Responding with reason removes the attacker's power. Silence or calm action communicates strength more effectively than retaliation. Even joy and excitement are filtered through reason. Enthusiasm can mislead, causing overconfidence or carelessness. The Stoic enjoys moments of happiness but keeps them grounded. Reason ensures that pleasure does not become distraction, and that celebration does not become indulgence. Reason also enables adaptability. Life is unpredictable. Emotional attachment to a specific outcome creates frustration. Reasoned action allows flexibility. You adjust to changing circumstances without panic, maintaining focus on what matters. Finally, responding with reason strengthens inner peace. Emotions are volatile. If the mind follows every surge of feeling, it becomes turbulent. Reasoned response creates steadiness. You face the world with composure, not because life is easy, but because your mind remains governed by choice, not impulse.